What's up, everybody? Gerard here. This is our year-end review special. 2020 is a day away from being over. Finally, I know everyone's had a tough 2020 with COVID and all of that, but let's hope for a great 2021 and beyond. Before we get this video started, I want to do a moment of silence for Hannah Kimura, Brody Lee, Shad Gaspard, and all the other professional wrestlers who tragically lost their lives in 2020. Thank you. Now that we got that underway, this video is just going to be talking about stuff that happened in wrestling this year and looking forward into 2021. I'll make some predictions as always. But if you want to listen to the 3T podcast, check us out on Apple, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, Podbean, and iHeartRadio. If you want to cop the merch, check out our shop at ProWrestlingTees.com. All of that and all the links to our social media will be below in the description of this video. Now let's jump into our 2020 year in the review. We're going to start with WWE. WWE had a very turbulent year, a lot of COVID cases. The ratings dropped drastically, and product-wise, it slipped. Towards the end of 2020, SmackDown really picked up the pace, but NXT and Monday Night Raw, in my opinion, both lagged behind significantly. One way I would fix this is take away the third hour of Raw and get down to the basics like it is on SmackDown. We focus on the big stars and let them carry the brand. For NXT, I think it's time to call some of these people up. The Johnny Garganos, the Adam Coles, the Tommaso Ciampas of the world. They've been there for so long. They're not pushing the needle enough. Move them to Raw or SmackDown and let someone else try, right? There's no real use in, keep putting, square pegs into triangles to try to beat AEW in the ratings. It's not working. Now, for SmackDown, one thing for SmackDown that I think they should work on is the tag team division needs a little more of an upgrade. I think that's across the board in WWE, by the way. But on SmackDown especially, the Street Profits really got no one else to really work with, and they're phenomenal. But overall, outside of that, they didn't do good with COVID. Their handling COVID was piss poor. For me, I'm going to grade WWE at a 6 out of 10 this year. There's a lot to be worked on for them. Now, we're moving into the next company in America that people care about, All Elite Wrestling. They finished their first full year this year. They had a lot of incredible moments in pay-per-views. They did have some scandals. Just like WWE with the COVID handling at times wasn't exactly ideal. Both them and WWE also had a lot of people getting exposed in the speaking out movement, which was absolutely horrendous as well. Positives, they really built a lot of new stars. MJF, Hangman Page, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, Orange Cassidy come to mind. They really did with great things with them. Negative-wise, on the product, I'm going to say, one, the women's division was absolutely horrendous this year for the most part. And I did on the podcast talk about how good some of these matches were, but it wasn't enough to carry the brand. Right? It wasn't enough to make the women's division compete with what NXT is doing, with what Raw and SmackDown are putting out in the women's division. They need to improve that in 2021. That's my main gripe with AEW. But that's that's one gripe. I think the tag team division was really good. I think one other minor gripe, I think they have too many tag teams. That you have great teams like Pride and Powerful not getting television time consistently in the tag team division. Other than that, I think AEW had a pretty solid year. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10 for AEW. The women's division and a lot of little things really held it back a little bit. Being included in the speaking out movement, being included with the COVID stuff, running shows during the pandemic in the height of the pandemic was not smart. Those two things really held back the rating from being higher. Now, my personal favorite company, and admittedly I'm biased for, New Japan Pro Wrestling, they had a very turbulent 2020 as opposed to what WWE and AEW did, who essentially ran unopposed and they continued during the pandemic. Either they taped a whole bunch or they were running live shows still. New Japan, however, after Wrestle Kingdom and then after the February pay-per-view, they kind of shut down shop for between 4 to 6 months. Absolutely crippling for their revenue streams, and they were on pace for the biggest year in their company's history. Wrestle Kingdom was phenomenal. The double gold dash, even though Kota Ibushi took 2 L's, which I think was horrible, their trajectory was going up, and now it's flatlined a little bit due to COVID. they took more of a hit from COVID than anybody overall. They couldn't book foreign talent when they first came back. They lost a lot of money. And now, even now, at Wrestle Kingdom this year, this weekend coming up, they have capped attendance due to COVID, a rise in COVID cases. But the positives with COVID with New Japan, they're the best company to handle COVID. They paid all their staff. They didn't fire anybody like WWE and AEW did. They kept everyone there. They kept everyone healthy. And they made a positive impact on the Japanese wrestling community, meeting with the government officials in Japan. Now, from the product standpoint, it was very stagnant throughout the year due to COVID. They didn't have the full roster to work with most of the year. Injuries, including Yo getting hurt, was big for them. They really, really worked with a minor group of guys, and it worked. But it got stagnant. You know, you had the stuff with Evil turning, which was great, and then him and Jay White entire G1 runs. Excuse me. Say that 5 times fast, by the way. Was essentially this them running in and doing the same interference. It was this Dick Togo and Gato doing the same exact shtick every night. I think that kind of harpened what the product is. The product definitely took a hit from 2019, I believe. I thought 2019 was probably arguably the best year of the year for New Japan in years. This year took a little bit of a hit. The G1 was absolutely an amazing tournament. Best of Super Juniors was amazing. New Japan Strong is starting to pick up in America. They did the Super J Cup in America with a lot of young talent. But wow, they took a big hit. It's going to be an 8 out of 10 for me. The stagnant product kind of hurt it at times. And the overuse of Western style booking finishes was just too much for me throughout the year. At times it made me not want to watch a Jay White or Evil match. But those were the 3 major companies. You know, we got 6, 7, 8. I didn't do that intentionally, by the way. I think overall wrestling took a big hit in 2020. I know a lot of our friends in the community who are pro wrestlers, you know, been struggling. But hopefully, guys, 2021 is going to be a better year for everybody. And hopefully the 2021 year review video will be a lot more cheerful and happy. This is coming off the Brody Lee tribute show, so I'm still a little melancholy after all that. But here's to 2021. Let's throw 2020 in the damn past. Let's move on. Let's have a great, prosperous year in 2021. From my family to yours, from the 3T crew to everyone listening. Thank you guys for supporting all the pages. Thank you if you just left one comment, one like, one funny comment. Even if you were trolling the pages, or just thank you for supporting the pages. Without you guys, I Strong Style Through the Table would be nothing. And I mean, I can't thank you guys enough for what you guys have done for me and the 3T crew. Thank you. This is Gerard from the 3T crew signing off for 2020.